What's going on, you guys? My name is Jesse Lyon, Chief Dream Scientist at DreamApp, and I'm going to call this Bonus Bits. We just recorded, well, I actually, to be honest, recorded it a little while ago, but we just finished editing an amazing podcast with @the.truth.doctor, Dr. Courtney Tracy. And if you know anything about her, she is wildly influential. She's always winning awards. She's always doing these exposure and outlet type of things. And so, to be honest, I oftentimes actually look to her channel for inspiration and influence because well, she has 1.8 million followers. I have 1.6 million followers. So it's almost like Big Sister kind of thing, right? It's like, okay, what's Big Sister doing? Let me make sure, I'm on the right track here because, she's good at this. I don't know why or how. Maybe it's her California influence, but she's good. And so oftentimes I kind of look up to her and I'll watch her channel to figure out what she's doing. But we're releasing a podcast episode. It comes out on Monday. But some of my followers over on Discord, and of course, if you haven't joined the Discord and you're not a part of the Dreamer community, the link is in the description and you should definitely do that. But a lot of people had said, man, I wish I could be a fly on the wall in that room and see what you guys talked about before and after the podcast episode is completed. Because we talked, we chat a little bit, before and after for a couple minutes. So I thought, let's make it, let's go through it. I'll tell you my thoughts about the episode, kind of some things I was thinking during it. And you can kind of see a little bit of behind the scenes because I know that kind of stuff is fun. So let's jump right into it. Let me transition over. If you haven't watched over here, if you haven't watched Chainsaw Man, the anime, you're missing out. It's my background on my computer, but here's the episode. Here's the raw, uncut, unseen footage. So let's get to it. I've got some thoughts and comments. Nice. Okay, cool. So I'll record the intro later. I kind of do it separate, but we'll just kind of jump into it. Here's one thing is there was this buzzsaw. Can you hear that? This buzzsaw in the background. Nice. Okay, cool. So I'll record and I'm over here oh my God, I can't reschedule. Dr. Tracy is so busy and she's she made specific time to do this, but I'm there's some construction going on in the background and I'm what am I supposed to do about that? So sometimes the delays in the podcast, them coming out, are because I've got to send it to the editors and be no, you have to figure out how to get rid of that, how to suppress the sound and how to kind of edit some of those things out. And that takes time. So that was one of the obstacles with this episode was some freaking buzzsaw in the background. So the intro later, I kind of do it separate, but we'll just kind of jump into it. So bad. So welcome. Today and I usually get rolling pretty fast. So that's all there was in the beginning. But we had some great conversation at the end when it all kind of finished up. I think it's right about here. Let's take a look.
Those 4 platforms.
I love it. I love it. Well, thanks again. And I look forward to talking to you some more.
Thanks.
Of course, the full episode is on the DreamApp YouTube channel, and that'll be linked down in the description below. Don't want to miss it. We talk about her childhood dreams and get some answers for what they actually mean. It was wild. She has this dream about hiding bodies behind the toilet, and it's just nuts and deeply impactful.
Thank you so much.
And that's the end.
Okay, I'll stop the recording.
And now we just chat. Now it may ask you to leave the browser open for a second while it finishes processing. This is me.
Because what it does is it records it locally and then uploads it to the cloud.
Never knowing what I'm doing with IT and trying to talk people through it.
Good, but just so you're aware. But it should be fine. It's all saved. But
so when I hit leave, it'll say that.
Yeah, it might say processing for a minute. So just leave the browser open for 5 minutes. I actually since then have chosen no longer to use this recording software because I don't like it. Let me be honest. I love it, but this is a product called Melon, but it's a newer product by OBS Studios. No, not OBS, Streamlabs. And the recording quality is just not as good as it really should be. So I've actually switched over to Riverside FM, which I haven't used yet, but I'm going to use for my future podcasts. So, and this is one of the problems is it's kind of weird and people don't know how to use it. And the quality just isn't as good as it really should be. Oh. And it'd be fine. But
okay, perfect.
I have the recording either way, so there's nothing you're gonna do that ruins it.
Okay, cool.
No worries.
She's so nice.
Thank you so much. It's so good to see you again. I'm very, very excited. We didn't even get to talk about baby stuff. I'm expecting.
Oh yeah.
at this point, it's next month. Like I'm shooting this Saturday morning, January 7th, and the baby's due date is February 14th.
Yeah, I
Little
think I
one's due
saw
in
that.
February. Yeah, so I'm
Amazing.
I'm gonna need some parenting advice. I'm gonna ask you.
Oh my God,
Facts.
please do. I'm actually starting the IVF cycle again right now,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm making a profile. I already have it. Dr. Courtney Makes a Baby, and so
She's awesome.
you can
I love
follow
it.
along, and I'll be, because what I'm gonna do is not, I'm gonna be sharing the IVF stuff, but I'm also gonna be mixing in like how I'm already parenting my 3-year-old and the stories of what I
Nice.
did when my first one was born versus what I'm going to do differently when my second one is born, like before that happens. So it might be
Yeah.
good for you to follow.
I think I will. I think I will. Yeah, because like
And I have been, honestly.
it was tough for us. I won't keep you long, but like we had a miscarriage in January before we got pregnant the second time with this one. We're due Valentine's Day actually, and so it's like, yeah, my wife's been very kind of passionate about sharing that story and how miscarriages are very common, but they're not talked about.
It's true.
They're really hidden. So
Yeah.
yeah. Nice. I'll be
Yes.
looking
There's an
out for it.
example
That's
of
great.
Really. Well, thank you
there's an example of that screen freezing why I don't like this product, this software.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so
Cool.
much for this.
For sure. I'll talk to you soon. Always here. Reach out anytime. But thanks again.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
There you go. There you go. She was so great, man. So we didn't actually get to talk for very long because we're both pretty busy, but it was wonderful. And I think one of the things that stands out to me just from that episode is like it's so surprising. She's really pioneered a way of being a therapist, but being authentic and exposing, not like exposing, but being authentic and being real, vulnerable about herself and like her own mental health diagnoses. And so she's really open about like this IVF stuff and she posts it consistently. And that's why I'm actually okay with like posting these little bonus bits here, because she's been pretty public about that journey for her already. And that's really like her platform and her mission is about being vulnerable and open, because for so long there's been this expectation that therapists are supposed to act like therapists and be professional all the time, whether they're counseling or in any kind of other profession. And so it gives this kind of like assumption that therapists are really stuffy and really boring. And they're always like, just kind of like goody two shoes, a little bit like virgin, clean, nothing interesting going on with them. They're very dry and stale. And so I actually get that in my sessions a lot, where people will sit down and they'll be like, you don't look like what I thought a therapist was going to look like. You're young, you wear a hoodie and ripped jeans, and you use like normal language. You don't talk over my head. And I say, yeah, like I'm a human, and what we know from research is that human to human connection is the most effective therapeutic tool that a therapist, a counselor can use for mental health growth. And so she's really kind of pioneered that and taken it to another level, where she's open about her diagnoses of borderline personality disorder, like I said, the IVF, her anxiety, her depression symptoms, and how she's managing it, how she takes medication. And I think what surprised me the most about this podcast episode was just that she gets so much hate, not even from just regular people, because they usually support her, but a lot of terrible, terrible comments from licensed professionals, like from other therapists saying, you can't do this, what's wrong with you? And she talks about it in the episode and gives like a specific example that just blew my mind. Like, how can someone who's supposed to help other people and be empathetic be so mean and so rude to you, another professional? And so that really stood out to me. And then what also really stood out to me is, for as much as she does like owning, and actually she sold her business, her rehab center, for as much as she knows about like the unconscious in therapy, it just surprises me over and over when I talk with these therapists and when I talk with counselors. They really have no idea or no clue about dream interpretation and how to use dreams therapeutically in their session. And so I don't think that's any fault of hers. Of course, she's very well read, very smart. I just think it's a fault of the culture and the society around mental health counseling, that we don't value that and really look to that as something important to share and something important to learn in class. Like, people ask me about my credentials, and I am very honest. Like, I'm fully licensed, I have my master's and all these extra certifications, but my insight into dreams and dream analysis comes from my own self-study and reading books, because there are 0 courses in grad school about how to interpret dreams and use them therapeutically. So this really is like a frontier that we're pioneering with DreamApp, myself, and just doing all these things. I started it, and then DreamApp kind of came along afterwards to really kind of help grow that vision. And so really just a shout out again to Discord and the subscribers, those who support the community. Like, you're the reason I make these videos. And I spend so much time trying to pioneer and reading research articles and reading books about dreams and how to change them, how to use them, because there's nothing out there right now. Like, we're really doing something magical and amazing and wonderful by working on these things and by bringing this into common culture, back into the dialogue with mental health, psychology, and counseling. So thank you again to all of you who support me and for watching these little bonus bits of the podcast and my thoughts about it. I can't wait for you to check out the episode. If you haven't already, go check it out and subscribe both here and on the DreamApp YouTube channel. Links and everything down below. I love it. I'll see you all real soon. Bye.